Hi friends, thank you for joining me in this session. Today we are going to see how you can configure a IPsec route-based VPN between the Fortigate firewall and the Juniper SRX firewall. On my screen you can see a simple topology. On the left hand side we have the Fortigate firewall, and on the right hand side we have the SRX. Fortigate port 1 is configured with the IP address 192.168.0.108. And on port 2, I have the IP address 14.140.40.108. Similarly, on the SRX on G000, I have 192.168.0.106, which is in the same network as FortiGate port 1. And the SRX loopback IP address is 33.33.33.33. So the intention is to have communication between the network which is configured on loopback and on port 2. So we need a secure communication between these two network scope via a IPsec tunnel. Since it is going to be a route-based IPsec tunnel, so we will have the tunnel interfaces as well. And the naming convention is OSPF or IPsec is simply because in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can configure OSPF on the route-based IPsec VPN. And on the SRX, all the interfaces are in untrust zone for simplicity. In your case, it might be in different zones, but the idea behind the setup remains the same. And the tunnel interfaces are already numbered, which means they have the proper IP addresses so that we can configure the routing protocols on those interfaces. So let's get started with the configuration on the FortiGate firewall first. So this is the FortiGate firewall, whereas in you can see that the port 1 is configured with the IP address 192.168.0.108, and port 2 is having 14.140.40.108, which is our interesting traffic, or you can say the proxy ID behind the FortiGate firewall. And this is the Juniper SRX. I guess this is SRX 300 model running 19 Juno OS version. So let's get started and let's try to configure the VPN on FortiGate Fire. Before that, I would like to show you the configuration on SRX as well. As you can see that the G000 is having IP address 192.168.0.106 as per our diagram. And let me show you the loopback as well. So this is the loopback address LO0.0, which is having the IP address 33.33.33.33. And we'll see the zone configuration as well. So you can see here that G000 loopback is in the zone untrust. So let's get started with the FortiGate configuration first. So on the FortiGate firewall, let's try to go to the VPN tab, try to configure the IPsec VPN. We'll try to name it the same way what we see on our KB article. It is going to be custom. Okay, IPv4 static IP. Interface is going to be port 1, which is having the IP address 192.168.0.108. Peer IP is 192.168.0.106, as you can see on screen. So NAT traversal is enabled, but then we don't need them. DPD on demand. Let's not try to change these parameters. Appreciate key. Let's have appreciate key of password. Add 123. Version 1. Mode, main mode. For simplicity, let's try to take it as des. SHA-1. Group 2. Local ID, we don't need them. XOR, we don't need them. Let the proxy ID or the traffic selector be 000 or 000, which means any, and the application any. So let's try to have it as des, authentication as SHA-1, no need of PFS. Lifetime of 432000. Let's try to commit this. Because now we have the VPN configured. Okay, you can see here under port 1, I have my VPN tunnel with the name OSPF4 IPsec. And go to the policy, firewall policy. Try to create a firewall policy with the name IPsec inbound. Source interface is going to be IPsec interface. Destination is going to be port 2, where I'm trying to reach out to 14.140.4108. This is the network which is protected. Source, let's take it as all. Destination, let's take it as 14.140.4140/24. We don't need any natting. That's it. Okay, let's try to clone this in reverse direction. IPsec outbound. Let's try to enable this. Okay, now we have the VPN configured. And we have our policy also configured to allow the traffic and to. Okay, there's one more thing that we need on the network part, which is the static route. So as per the diagram, FortiGate firewall will try to reach out to 33.33.33.33. Let's try to add a route. Pointing to the tunnel. That's it, done. Okay, so the configuration on the FortiGate is done. Let's try to move on to the Juniper. Okay, so I guess I already have the proposal created. Okay, this is the phase one proposal. So method is pre-shared key, just like the FortiGate firewall, group 2, SHA-1, algorithm des 86400, same as what we have on the Juniper on the FortiGate firewall. All right. Let's try to create a policy, or let's try to create the interface first. It is going to be st0.0. So now that we have the st0.0 interface, this will be okay. So the interface will be in disabled state or down state because the tunnel is still down. Let's try to configure the tunnel. Okay, it still shows up. No problem. Probably it is not binded to any VPN. That is the reason why the tunnel shows us up. So this is the phase one proposal. This is the phase two proposal, ESP SHA-1 des 43200. Let me show you the same thing. Des SHA 432000. Main mode, version 1. All right, that's all that is matching on the SRX. Let's try to create a policy, phase one. Let's try to use the same proposal that we created. You can get the reference configuration from the link in the description. I have all the configuration listed here. Pre-shared key, ASCII, PASSWORD. This is the appreciate key that I've used on the Fortigate as well. Let's set the mode to main. Okay, I guess we are done with the phase 1 proposal. Let's try to check the configuration. Policy main proposal we have chosen. Appreciate key we have configured. Okay, we need to create the gateway. Next. So this is the name of the gateway. Address, which is the Fortigate firewalls port 1 IP address 108. And we have to attach the IKE policy that we just created in the previous step, which is our phase 1 policy. Version is going to be version 1 because we are not configuring version 2, IKE version 2. Gateway address version 1. Let's try to configure the next step. No need of this. Now let's try to configure this. Anyways, we have the FortiGate on demand. We have set the DPD as on demand, which means if there is any DPD coming from the opposite direction, it will be honored by the FortiGate firewall. Probe idle tunnel, which means when the tunnel is idle, we'll send the probe, which is the DPD. Okay, this is the important thing, which is our external interface. And local address is 106. Okay, this we already have. So one more thing what you can do is you can check compare, which is the thing which is missing here, external interface. Okay. Okay, I guess we mistyped the name of the gateway. External interface is going to be G000. You can do that compare one more time, which will show you the missing configuration. Now that the phase 1 is properly configured, we can move on to phase 2. Name of the policy is phase 2. policy. Let's try to use the proposals that we just created. PFS is disabled, so that's all I guess in this. And then we have to do the binding as well. VPN name we have to put. Okay, this is the name of the VPN. And then we have to bind the interface, which is our ST00. This is our I gateway. No need of setting the proxy identity because it is going to be 000 any by default. Okay, now that we have everything in place, let's try to see if there is anything missing. Okay, nothing is missing. Bind gateway phase 2. Yeah, that's all. Now that we have the VPN already configured, let's try to check out the policy. Okay, you can see here I have created a novel test policy to allow the traffic from zone untrust to zone untrust, source any, destination any, application any, which is not recommended in the production environment, but then this is just for testing the configuration. So I have created the policy like this. In your scenario, you can provide more granularity to the policy. Now that everything is done, let's try to create a static route. 14.140.40.08/32 next hop st0.0. As per the diagram, you can see here SRX 33 will try to reach out to 14.140.40.108. I guess that's all on the firewall SRX. Let's try to commit this. Oh man, it is going to take a lot of time. I don't know why it is taking a lot of time. In the meantime, go to, okay. I guess that's all on the, okay, state is down. Okay, so the route is also showing as active. All right, so I guess I didn't specify the interface ST00 in the untrust zone. As you can see, that was the missing part here. I didn't specify the interface. It was not in any zone. So now that it is in untrust zone and we have the policy, now we can see that it is coming up. You can see all the negotiation parameters being accepted, PSK authentication succeeded, up. So this was all about the retransmissions from the FortiGate's end, because the SRX device whatnot was not having the proper security policy to allow the traffic, because the ST00 was not in any zone. Once I listed them in the untrust zone, and we already have the untrust to untrust policy to allow the traffic, it started working. Okay, this is the phase one information. Okay, this is the phase one information. Let's try to get the phase two information. This is the phase two information. These are the proxy IDs or the interesting traffic. As you can see that by default it'll be 000, any. Name of the tunnel. These are the peer IPs, tunnel ID. These are the statistics. All right, let's try to initiate something to confirm that everything is working fine. Okay, so I'm able to ping 33, which is the IP or the scope behind the SRX. Traffic is going through the tunnel. And I'm able to ping from the SRX as well. Able to reach out to 14.140, 4108. So this is the phase 1 information. Let's try to get the phase 2 information as well. Okay, you can see here the phase 2 information. You can see the parameters in details if you use the command detail. And I'll show you the counters increasing as well. You can see here, this is the session. This is the phase 2 details. On the FortiGate firewall, if you execute this command, which is get VPN IPsec tunnel name and then the name of the tunnel, you can see that the packet count is increasing, RxTX. So in this way, you can identify that the traffic is hitting the tunnel. And on the Juniper SRX, if you type this command, run social security IPsec statistics index, and then copy paste the ID here, it is going to show you the inbound and outbound packet, encrypted and decrypted packet. So there's 71. Now we'll try to initiate some traffic. So 76, I guess. Yeah, you can see here. All right, guys, that's all in this video. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can configure OSPF over the IPsec tunnel that we just created. Please do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and stay tuned for the next video. Have a good day.